We've gotten to the point where we understand how to split the lines, the text on the new lines, whether that be a Unix style new line or a Windows style, it doesn't really matter. Python can figure that out. So let's pretend we're reading the first line of text from the spiders haiku. And I'm just going to start a Python REPL. Let me make my text a little bigger here. Uh, and I'm going to set my line equal to this. So what I need to do is I need to figure out how to break this into words. So going back to the first time we did this was in the words count exercise, and we just used the string split method. So let's see what that looks like. If I say line dot split, I get don't worry spiders, but we see that worry still and spiders both still have the comma attached to them. And that's not going to be useful because if we're going to try to leave the first and last letters of each word in place, then the first letter, for instance, the worry would look like a W, but the last one would look like a comma, which would not be correct at all. So we need to figure out a way to break the punctuation off, but not in such a way that we lose it, because we're going to have to put this text back together. So in the fryer that we just did, we use the re.split function, and we use this regular expression of a backslash capital W plus, which, if you remember, backslash W, lowercase w, means any word character. So the uppercase W is any non-word character. It's the complement of that other class. So let's try using that to split, and let's see. We'll have to import the RE module to do this. And then we can say re.split, and we're going to use this regular expression, and I'm going to put it in an R string for a raw. And I talk about raw strings over here. It's because we don't want Python to try to interpret this backslash escape character the way that it would interpret, say, a backslash n to mean a new line. We don't want it to try to think, oh, backslash capital W, I should try to interpret that. No, it's a raw string. We're saying to Python, don't interpret anything about this, just use it exactly as is. So if I tell it to split on non-word characters, one or more of those, and then I put that split into parentheses, it will remember, it will capture, it will return both elements. So one of the things that we see, like with line split, we tell it to split, it's going to split on white space, and then you notice there are no white spaces left in the string in the list that's returned. So the white space has been removed. And the same thing is going to be true of re.split. Whatever we tell it to split on will be absent from the results. And we want those to be still present so that we can use it to put the string back together. So let's try splitting line on that and seeing what we get. It's somewhat close. You see that worry now has been split apart from the punctuation, the comma and the space in between it and spiders, but there's a problem. Don't has been split into 3 separate parts. And that's because this quote here, this single quote, this apostrophe, is not a word character. So we need to work on our regular expression. We need to figure out another way to write this. That's not quite going to work. And so I'll be honest, I really struggled with this when I really wanted to write this program. I had in mind what I wanted to do, but I didn't know quite how to write that regular expression. And I've been writing them for like 15, 20 years. So, you know, I'm not new to this. And I thought about it, and I played around with a lot of ideas. And and honestly, I just kept going to the internet and searching and trying to figure out the right combination of words and keywords to find this expression. And finally, I ended up on this Java discussion board, and somebody posted this regular expression right here. Now, they didn't post this code because this is Python code, but they posted this string. And I looked at it and I thought about it for a while, and I went over into a REPL and I tried it, and you know, lo and behold, it worked. And that's what one of the things I love so much about regular expressions. They're completely separate language from Python, and they're used all over the place. So this is a piece of knowledge that you'll be able to use from the command line to some other programming language that you work in. It is worth the time to learn regular expressions. So let's go try this, and what we see is that we get exactly what we want. So There is this weird empty string at the front. I'm not exactly sure why that's there, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to hinder us in any way. But then you see don't has been split apart from the space. Worry has been split apart from the punctuation there, and the same with spiders. So this works exactly what we want. Now, we can break down this regular expression a little bit to talk about it. On the outside is a set of capturing parentheses, because again, if we don't have those, the bits that it matches will be thrown away by re.split. So we want to tell it that the patterns that are used to split the text should also be included in the results. So that's what the outside capturing parentheses are for. Then inside of here, we start with, this is a character class that represents the lower and uppercase letters of the English alphabet, A to Z, A to Z. And then we have another set of parentheses, but these parentheses are really only being used to group this pattern inside so that we can then make it optional. We don't need to capture this, so that we can make this into non-capturing by putting question mark colon just at the beginning of the expression. And then inside of that, we're saying 0 more of any of the classic characters, A to Z, and the apostrophe. So there's where we're going to be able to catch that apostrophe, and then followed by another character. So, and then when I was looking at this, I was thinking about, well, what about the case of where there's more than one character after that apostrophe, as it put, like in the expression we're, W-E, uh, uh, apostrophe re, as in we are. And it works because this will capture one or more of any of these characters. So this would capture actually the parenthesis and the r, and then the last one would capture the last e. And so that is the regular expression we're going to use to break our text. And again, it's a little difficult to understand. I certainly wouldn't expect you to be able to just come up with this regular expression, but part of what I want you to understand is that it's a big part of your job is simply searching the internet and looking for discussion boards and finding places like Stack Overflow and seeing partial answers and understanding how you can wrap your head around them and then apply those to your problems. And that's an important skill. It's an extremely important skill in my job, and I've been doing this for well over 20 years. So there's no shame in searching the internet for a question. So that is the regular expression we'll use, and we'll go from here.